Sitting in the house and I was reading through all this stuff, you know, in the wee bits of paper that comes with your pills to tell you the side effects. And I was reading through it and all the possible side effects, and it said, oh, dizziness. I says, well, I've got that. It says forgetfulness. I said, have I got that? I can't mind. Then right at the very bottom it said on one of them, men may grow breasts. What? And I wasn't sure, was it a warning or was it giving me permission? Men may grow breasts.
I was quite looking forward to it, actually.
And the doctor had already told me I had acute angina. When you have something like a heart attack, you know, like when you growing up in Scotland, when people have heart attacks, it's kind of like your granny has a heart attack. It's a big, you know, everybody freaks out. And when you have one yourself, you can't believe it, and you worry, you know, how long are you going to last? And it's genetic. What does that mean? You don't understand a lot of it. And I thought a lot about what was going on in my life, and I thought a lot about how long my life would last. And I wish that I had this kind of warning or this wake-up call. I wish I'd had it 20 years ago. But having said that, I'm happy that I've had it now, and the next 20 years are going to be a completely different thing. This is a very important part of our life on the road. Very important part of our life. 61 holes, twice around. Good game of crib. Aly and I well sorted out, and the tournament may begin this evening.
Tourism Association, may I welcome you to Blair Castle Ballroom. We took a risk, hoping to fill the castle, and we've done it, so I hope it will be an annual thing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Aly Bain and Phil Cunningham.
Thanks very much. What I want to know is who's Tom and who's Jack?
We'll play a slow air now that I wrote about 2 or 3 years ago. I can't recall exactly, but I wrote it in Beaufort Castle. I was at a charity dinner in aid of a leper hospital in India, and I'd taken along a couple of CDs and a tune book for the raffle to kind of go into the general pot. And when I got there, I realised that a lot of people there were business people who were handing over hundreds and thousands of pounds. And my 2 CDs and my tune book were looking a little bit on the weak side. So I had to do something kind of on an urgent basis. So I wrote this tune on the back of a napkin and then auctioned off the right to name it. And a gentleman bought it for his wife, Sarah. So it's called Mary's Song. Only kidding.
So,
Okay.
where are we, Donaldson?
Well, that's a wee secret.
Oh, I see. That means I'll never find it again.
No, I'll never get back here again.
There wasn't much, to do in Shetland, so I mean, you either played cards or you played the fiddle. And there was lots of fiddle players, and I always loved the sound of it. So I took it up when I was about, like 11 or 12. It's a country thing, in a way. And I always associate, fiddle playing with country places and characters and people, and it's not like a business. I mean, I never intended to, to play music for a living, and that just happened by a kind of mistake. Well, in fact, if I'd lived in my father's generation, I couldn't have done that. It's a kind of a new opportunity. I used to be a joiner, and some of the guys I worked with were master craftsmen. They were really good at what they did, and I just happened to be good at music. I mean, I wasn't much of a joiner, but I just think it's the way you are. It's the way you're born. I don't think you can learn anything like that. I think it's in your genes, or you're born with it. I mean, you can learn the technical side of it, but you can't learn the emotional side of it. And I think to play music, you have to be quite an emotional person. And Phil's certainly a very emotional person, even though he fools around a lot.
I think maybe we do have a collective soul. I never thought about it. But yes, I think occasionally we will. I mean, when we're playing a slow air together, for instance, occasionally you'll hang on a long note and you'll leave a little pause before you start back into the next phrase. We never discuss that. We never ever discuss it. It just happens on the night. And I think that's where the collective soul happens. It's just an understanding of how the other person is feeling about the tune at that particular time, because it's never the same gap. There's always a wee difference every night. Yeah, what's this?
Did you ever fall out?
Very rarely, and it's always over really stupid stuff. But I mean, I've always maintained that I would forgive Ali anything just once I've heard him playing 3 or 4 tunes on the fiddle, or 3 or 4 notes on the fiddle. But he has the ability to melt my heart. And I would rather you cut that all out. You'll live off it for ages.
But it's a beautiful tune. I mean, he wrote it on a napkin, which really annoys me. You can do things like that. Sitting there at dinner and write a tune on a napkin. Drives me mad.
Aha. Request for Phil Cunningham and Aly Bain. Please, could you play a request for Margaret's Waltz and Danny Boy? Thank you. If we don't do Danny Boy, we might do Margaret's Waltz.
I'm not playing Danny Boy, that's it. Margaret's Waltz.
Dear Phil and Aly, would you ever get naughty?
Can you please play Margaret's Waltz for Mrs. Margaret MacDonald and her sister Mrs. Mary Cheen? Thank you.
You know that Margaret's Waltz is amazing. It was like